Hello, and welcome back to Last Stream World Unknown. I actually did some work off camera between the last episode and this one, basically to take me back over here. I incidentally ran into something that I wasn't expecting that I want to show off here at the beginning of the episode. But to start things off today, we're going to do some sailing and some exploring of the world. But you'll recall that there is the captain here, who would give us the opportunity to go out and sail monsters. It was sail and fight monsters. It was kind of an easy way to grind. But it turns out that two of the guild targets, you recall that there were a bunch of new kind of bosses on the world map that we could fight. Apparently a couple of them, Anglerfish and Jorgungand, are out on the ocean, and this guild captain would take us to go find them, as well as just fighting sea monsters. And so I did some sea monsters fighting, and I don't want to go and fight bosses right now, but that is an option when we are looking for new bosses to fight. The ones on the ocean we can fight just by talking to that captain. In any case, I came over here and was doing some sailing because I was taking a look at the world map, and a feature that I don't think I've shown off is what's called manual mode, which is basically where you can just use your controller and kind of like look around the map at any particular zoom level to see what all is there. And so, for example, there is a port right there that looks like it's next to a city, kind of on the opposite end of the world, down near the southern end of the world, whereas currently I'm up near the northern end of the world. But there's also a port up at this kind of north end, right over here where my cursor is, my map cursor. There's a tiny little island that has something over here that I'm kind of curious about. And I think those are the three main places that I noticed when I just did this very briefly. I also have extra motivation to go to this particular town because I've been watching Sandrel, who is also playing through last stream right now. And once he got the boat, he traveled to this town, and so I had to stop watching his Let's Play because I didn't want to have spoilers. And so that's the first place I'm going to go. I did a little bit of grinding, and I got my players up one more level, so we're currently at level 80. And yeah, but everybody's healed up, and we're kind of ready to do some traveling. And I see, we're still at kind of the north end of the map, the West Orphis dock we've already visited. And the map wraps around, if I'm remembering correctly, and so if I go a bit further to the north, and then check the map again, I'm currently near the very north edge of the map, and in a moment I'll be near the very south edge of the map. Oh, cool! And there's like ice thingies out here. Alright, great. And so now I can see that the port I'm trying to get to is somewhere right over here. Got some more monsters on the ocean. I made a battle macro that includes thunder for when I was just doing some ocean grinding, and so battle macro 5 has my guy's attack, it has the thief do a mug, and then the black mage attacks with Thunder 7, as you just saw there. And Thunder 7 tends to work very well against most of the sea creatures, and so that's been an effective way to very quickly and somewhat mindlessly gain some experience and some levels and different things. And yeah, basically I had some time to play when I wasn't able to record due to sounds that were going on in the background. And so that's why I chose to do some grinding the previous episode. But this is a new place. I don't know what town this is going to be. Elucidating Lector. The Rockwood citizens faced fearful rage alone and were brutally cut down. Though their lives were not valued by their mysterious and ignoble conquerors, we must uphold the value of all civilizations everywhere. Collectively, we shall be resilient. Alright, those are some nice words. What town is this? I'm not sure. I see a chest I'm going to steal shortly. I thought it might be an elf town. This guy looks like an elf. Tisaren. Okay, we've heard of this place. And at their weapon shop, we can buy emerald stuff. All right, fair enough. We also have an item shop where we can buy, looks like the usual things. We have a place where we can sell monster remains, and I've actually sold a little bit of my excess. Just as a way to make a little bit of extra cash. And we have the armor shop, and is there anything amazing that we can get here? Looks like all kind of emerald stuff as well. These are things that we already had access to, and so I don't think I really need any of that. I will quickly check some shelves just to see if there's any other stuff that we can get for free just by hunting around, and sure enough, there is a little bit of that. But let's continue to explore around Tisaren. Is that the name of this elf town? And this guy, he looks like he could be human, or maybe he just has long hair that covers up his elf ears. Not sure. A composer. How do you regard the opening to my autobiography? When I was a fledgling child, I awoke while immersed in my violin rendition of an obscure work by the composer Elvach. Presented before an aristocratic audience, my sheet music flipped on the floor in disarray. Without notes to set my gaze upon, I found my bow flourishing onward, improvising beyond the tune in score yet unheard. Therefore, I knew I was a composer. I screwed that up a little bit. Compliment the composer. Sure. Wonderful, wonderful. I have a reading planned in Volundra to be spoken over the melodic rhythms of my latest composition. All right, so I write some music, as well as words. 9,000 gold. Terrific. All right, let's check out. I'm in the robbing mood, so let's run around here and rob these things first, then we'll go inside the houses. Black hole bomb. Heavenly judgment bomb. Terrific. And there's a guy here, so we'll talk to him too. Dissenting elf. I normally reside in Rockwood, yet I survived the attack because I made a chance visit to Tisaren during Rockwood's stunning demise. Because I failed to observe the events there directly, I worry that we presume too much. What standing army do we really surmise to be the cause? Perhaps my absence was not entirely fortunate. Alright, so people wonder what's really going on. What do we have over here? The diary records the emotions of the owner after hearing the destruction of Rockwood, and a stack of fiction books. Although I was not present to witness Rockwood's demise, survivors speak of a vast and merciless invading horde. Events not directly perceived require skepticism, and yet the danger is so great as to merit the immediate preparation of countermeasures for Tisaren. Okay, it sounds like these elf people are very measured. Wanderings, Volume 5. I'm not sure where Volumes 1 through 4 are, and so I'm just going to go ahead and start reading this. Alright, by Casario. After just one day and a small part of one goblin enclave, I believe I'm now sufficiently prepared to make sweeping pronouncements regarding goblin culture. Primarily, that goblins are odd. Alright. So yeah, I think in typical lore, elves are kind of like smart, but also maybe like snobbish and look down at the other races a bit, kind of, or something. And so it seems like this world's lore is kind of similar. Volume 6. On my way to Estonia, I noticed a vast assortment of older-looking elven coins on the support beam of a rather large bridge. Why were they there, and why hadn't anyone retrieved them? A bridge and coins or something? On a support beam? I wonder if that might be foreboding or forewarning us of something that's going to happen in the future. We're going to see a chest on a bridge and it might be trapped or something. I don't know. I might be overthinking this. Oh, we're going to learn more right now. I evaluated how to acquire the coins and ultimately climbed over the rail to scale down to a lower ledge. I hung there for a moment, unable to determine whether I would be able to jump back up. Alright, now I'm on the edge of my seat and I want to know what happened to him. Obviously he lived, since he's writing the story at some point afterwards. Here's another chest. Great, refreshing elixir. We like having these things. And I think that's everything from this house. And so let's just kind of like continue walking around. What is this place? Interesting. Interesting. So some kind of grave area. And if we go downstairs, are there like tombs and different things? It looks like it. Alright. I'm not sure how much there's going to be to read down here, and I'm not sure whether I feel like reading all of it. Yeah, it seems like for the most part there's just a bunch of tombs, but then there's also stuff that we can take. Hyper Remedy Potion, okay, great. I'm just going to do a little bit of picking and choosing to read a few of these things. Especially this one looks like it might be important. Perhaps not. Alright. There's a ton of lore in this game, and so far, my basically opinion is that some of it is redundant. And so I'm going to choose... Oh, wow. 3 full nectars. I think those heal up, like, all your magic points. And so those are quite valuable. Did these go down to the same place? Yeah, it's just these 2 stairs. Okay. Alright, so I'm not going to read all the lore there. It might be the case that on one of the tombstones there's, like, some important bit of information or clue or something. But I'm willing to take that risk and go ahead and pass it up. So is this... Oh, this takes us to... Okay, we're going to come back here. It looks like maybe an elvish castle or something. Whereas we're just kind of in town out here. So let's finish exploring the town first. Legendary Lexicographer. How we label and historically regard Rockwood's destruction matters not just during our contemplation of an immediate response, but more significantly, labels matter for how we respond to all such crises in the future. Alright. That was a lot of words that didn't really say a whole lot. Okay, Volume 1. Ah, the Wonders of Ronkar. That was the Goblin City that we went to visit. Okay. Humble architecture. Water makes me wish I was no longer alive. Alright. He witnessed goblins playing a game. I see, and they were kind of like tricky hucksters or something. Alright. Let's see. What else do we have among all these houses? Apprehensive. I fear elven blood will be shed in yet another non-elven war. Let us reflect on how even a single loss diminishes the elvish race significantly. Indeed, let's try to avoid unnecessary bloodshed. But the nature of these games is that you know what's going to happen. And I was watching Sendril play. You recall when we were defending Court, I managed to save 12 of 16 townspeople. He managed to save all 16, and as a result, he got a handsome reward of some, like, upgraded armor and tools and things. And so things do have consequences, and I think as a result, then there were, like, more people in town for him to talk to. And so lots of the minor choices and different things that you do in this game do have outcomes that kind of like affect other aspects of the game. And so if you play this game on your own, you know, with a different party and make different choices, you'll see different outcomes than I'm seeing. And that's one of the things that makes Last Dream and Last Dream World Unknown so interesting. Aiding the humans in seeking justice for Rockwood might result in their continued dependence on us. We must free them from their sickening lack of independence. They wish to be regarded as a mature race, they have to endure the burdens. Alright. 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 Goblins playing soccer with, I don't know, like the inflated bladder of a beast or something. Goblins give away stuff and he feels obligated to pay. Alright. I've taken a few things from goblins, and I haven't paid them a cent. I don't know that I think... Yeah, I don't think I've paid anything to any goblins yet. But I've helped them out, so... It all evens out. Different views of personal property. Back here, this is a different color chest. Oh no, it's a red chest, and it's just hiding behind a white tree. Fair enough. Thought it was like a gold-colored chest or something. And is this a dead end? Looks like this is a dead end. So I think we've covered about 3/4 of the town proper, but then we'll have to go up to the castle as well as to wherever the world tree is. Let's see, who do we have here? Elven Empiricist. How should we best respond to the news of Rockwood? We mustn't allow ourselves to become worse through either action or neglect than those we should fight against. Alright. Oh, okay, great. We're finally getting the outcome. I decided against jumping down the bridge support beam and climbed back up. Still, I couldn't help myself from staring transfixed at the many elegant coins. Alright. So he decided his life was more valuable than some coins. That's probably a good idea. Got a recipe for an elemental cloak, it looked like. And what did this person write? Bucket list. Most of the items have check marks on them. Elves are typically long-lived. Actually, there was another little letter over here. Can I read this? No, I can't. All right. Oh, there's a goblin here. Hello. Jubilant Goblin. One time, elf told me about happy glass that is half full. Me not sure what was inside of glass, but they say elf with glass. Happy. Me not sure why. Oops. Me usually happy, but now just confused about glass. Alright. Repudiating elf. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what repudiating means off the top of my head. Elves would do well to refrain from any vulgar violence, even in defense of an ally. Let us stand aside as the lower races clash in ignorant darkness around the plains of Firma. When the cleansing sun rises, the elves always endure. Alright, but do be wary of threats that may be greater than just squabbling among the other races. Reason enables us to transcend thoughts born of emotions. Some beleaguered humans in an outlying town have fallen victim, and the elves are begged to provide aid. Yes, we have a duty to the younger races, but all the perseverance of the elven civilization trumps other concerns. Alright. It's good to be worried about yourself as well. And let's see. Oops, didn't mean to look in the mirror. Meant to look in here to get a high potion. Terrific. And a medium magic potion. Okay, as usual, getting lots of consumables. Uh-oh. You decided he was capable of jumping to get the coins. The fall was longer than I expected. Alright, this is quite the story. Resurrection elixir, that's terrific. Okay, I think we have a couple more houses down here in the bottom right quadrant of the city. Oh, it's the inn and the pub. And there's also this place, which I don't think I've gone in. And is this just synthesizing recipes? Yes. And I ought not have anything new. Actually, I do have that one new recipe, which was for... What was it for? Oh, I crafted the fishing spear, by the way, and did a tiny bit of fishing off camera before the last episode as well. Elemental Cloak, that was the new one. Resists ice, wind, and holy elements. Okay, I'm not too terribly interested in that. It doesn't look like I have the ingredients to make it anyway. So let's check out the inn and the pub. Want a drink? No thanks. Alright, they talk about the inn, 2,500. I don't need to stay at the inn right now. Hey, it's another goblin. Meet Mishon and Hagbar. Come here to find friend and take him to Estonia, but Tisaren so far away. Could have been back home by now. What does this guy have to say? One day, elf friend talked to me about Tisaren. He say it very old and me like it a lot. So me come here and he write. Many old tunnel to explore. Oh. Me like to sneak around, find new place. It's dangerous though. You must be muscle like me. Okay, so apparently there are some tunnels, perhaps underneath the castle. Collected surprising quantity of magnificent coins. Satisfied my pockets were full, I jumped for the bridge ledge. I really feel like I'm on the edge of my seat on this story. Alright, got some money, got a lot more money. These are all great things. 4 more vain attempts to reach the ledge, I began frantically searching for other ways back up. There must be something. Oh, and I read these out of order. Alright, so basically he's trying to jump back to the ledge and he can't make it back. Scrutinizing elf. It's the human for the Rockwood. It is human for the Rockwood survivors to expect us to seek vengeance on their behalf, but elves do not actualize such base emotions. We seek not vengeance, but prudence. Alright. So hopefully the elves will conduct more thorough investigation of exactly what's transpired and who is to blame. Okay, so I think that is everything in kind of the city portion. Oh, the world tree is right here. Alright, in that case, I did talk to you. Did I talk to you? Alright, more of the same. Any other people? There's a snowman. Can I talk to the snowman? I cannot. And I think we've already talked to these people, and I don't think there's any people around the world tree. So let's go up to the castle. And before going inside, I just want to kind of walk around and see if I see any obvious places for tunnels or something to be hiding. Okay, quite a big place. I'll try to circle around. For the life of me, I can't remember what I was searching for, but I ended up finding this old treasure map among my papers. It looks to be authentic, but the wilderness is no place for someone such as myself. You have the look of a hardened warrior who may enjoy such a hunt. Would you like this treasure map? Yes. Excellent. I hate to throw anything away, so it's serendipitous that you arrived soon after I found the map. Treasure map number 16. Do you ever tire of running to and fro in search of treasure? Take a moment to relax and enjoy a good book. That's good advice. All right, and I think up until now we had 10, 11, 12, 13. So 16 is kind of skipping ahead a tiny bit. Would this be a final meal? I would die a happy elf. I wonder what he's eating. It sounds delicious. And I actually am recording this in the evening and I have not had dinner yet, and so it's making me hungry. Most wondrous books. All right. I will have to decide if I want to try to read all of this. All right. Wanderings, Volume 13. Oh my gosh, are these all going to be that? Okay, I do want to hear the story, though. There's no way up, so slumped down with my many coins and stared at the rushing water 200 feet below. Hey there, why so stout? Thrilled at being discovered. I pleaded with him. Okay, threw him my belt, loop it around a nearby beam. The dwarf secured the belt. I climbed up. Ouch. The belt snapped. I fell backwards. Lost a bunch of my coins to the waters below. The dwarf thought I was a silly goose. He marched off for Westonia. Please, I just need a decent rope. A goblin youth came by. He offered me a sandwich. I didn't want it. How you get back up? Life not so bad. Don't kill self. I have valuable coins. Now, if you bring me a rope, I'll give you some of these coins, okay? Coin like garbage. Yeah, a lot of people seem to just choose not to understand how the goblins behave. They don't recognize the value of money, indeed. If you bring me a rope, I will give this to you. Why, I want broken belts. All right, the dwarf came back. Where exactly was I going to go after the guards say don't move? Oh my goodness, this is such a story, but I really want to know the end of it. Okay, how do I get over there? Because there is a treasure chest over there and I want it. Actually, is there any chance... Okay, I just want to make sure that, like, hiding behind these pillars, there wasn't also a treasure chest that I couldn't see. Because that would be a good place to hide a chest. Oh, there's a couple more books. Can I talk to these books? Yes, okay. Okay, so the guards are rescuing him. Asked why he jumped down. Trying to get these discarded coins, because the coins are rare and appear to be soon destined for the water below. Those coins were thrown away. I realized some crazy person threw them away like garbage, but that's why I went to retrieve them. Alright. Ah, the cook who's making these delicious meals. Alright, and he's quite talented. Like I said, he's kind of making me hungry. Kitchen, library. Traditionalist. Elves are few in number. We must live beyond this time of darkness to tell the story of this conflict and ensure traditions survive our present generation. Okay, there's a fireplace there. I really thought possibly that was going to be an entrance to a secret tunnel. It is not, but I will continue to look around. Found some more money. Walked right past this goblin without noticing him, so perhaps I should talk to him as well. Happy to help kind elf by doing proud job of stalker. No one faster or sing louder than me. Great. We will go up those stairs in a moment. I imagine none of this stuff I can take. Doesn't seem like it. Royal Barracks. Reluctant Sergeant. Military career commenced when I cynically enlisted as a ready means to garner financial support. That was during peacetime. Then Rockwood was suddenly smashed to bits, and war was no longer a historical burden borne by my ancestors. A tremulous stress possessed my every action as I attempted to circumvent deployment. There must be some avenue of escape. The military machine blitzkriegs through carefully positioned plans. I was swept up in a war. I am now serving my time, yet moment by moment I am terribly anxious of being dispatched to the front lines against a dark force. I recognize no glory in dying a hero's death, and I am loath to be praised for serving my king and country. I have declined 2 rare field promotions to be an officer. My life, at least to me, is worth more than one conflict within a procession of 1,000 wars. I shall serve my time and then depart with mixed feelings of disgust for the races of the world, as well as perhaps myself. As for you, my gloomy armored friend, under what temporal and meaningless banner do you serve? Ah, I actually meant no offense, and here, perhaps you will make better use of this. Oh, nectar, thank you. I see great purpose in the absurd will to power. I am not your kinsman, but I still wish you success on your journey. Good luck, good luck. I do have the advantage that when I party wipe, I don't die forever, but instead I just reload at my last save. The coins are counterfeit, made by the Mad King Argus. Alright, so that's why they were thrown away. Dwarf's explanation made sense, but I wanted the coins. Boy, this is a long and twisty story. Why are you leaving Westonia? Sensing the intent, I respond, or when are you leaving Westonia? And I responded immediately. Okay. Whatever dark army is seeking to blight out the intellectual world, whether out of abhorrence for our freedom or love of self-hatred, good people stand ready to shed their lives and to reveal our enduring light. Alright, so there's an elf army guy who is more, I don't know, willing to take on the burdens. Full potion, great. Anything else hiding here? Nope. Let's go up that other staircase that we skipped earlier. And what shall we find over here? The Royal Lounge, the throne room, and the bedroom. Alright, in the bedroom, human sayings. When you hate what you're doing and who you're with, you're not living at all. It's a letter from King Anor to the Tisaren governor. Human sayings. When you're a part of something greater than yourself, you are greater. Ancient parchment with symbols I don't understand. Human sayings. The valiant monk, when removed from the environment which engenders his best self, can become a reviled beast. Lucky is the man who miscounts and thereby numbers his blessings twice. Ah. It is important to count your blessings. Be grateful for the things you have to be grateful for. A sunset viewed from 5 miles aloft reveals a small, ever-changing world. The west is lively light. The east brings streams of oil lamps that artificially illuminate Theopolis and North Bay. From the floating islands. In between, their shades of light and dark, more smooth than any painter has been able to accomplish. Blessed to exist in a period of technological advancement when such a view is possible. Alright, very nice. Same thing. Alright, looks like a very nice royal bedroom. Royal guards. Royal audience seekers would do well to avoid tussling with me. I consume only lean chicken breast and amass exquisite bulk definition by lifting tree trunks. Wow. Surely my strengths are best utilized by Firma's greatest military force. Okay. He's a proud warrior. I readily confess to a wanton lawlessness within me. Interesting. My vigor arises naturally, and I would employ my muscle powers to my own ends. For now, the Royal Guard benefit from my blunt talents, and the female guards benefit from my considerable charisma. Alright, self-inflated guys, but I'm sure quite powerful in their own right. A suitor once compared Tisaren to a summer's day. What an insult! Tisaren is far more brilliant and warm. I reject this. Kill Neems immediately for the bland, thuggish guard that he is. Tisaren Castle is a spring dream perfected into reality. In the autumn of my life, I wish to pour my heart into serving the enduring cultural beauty of Tisaren. Alright, so the elves are very proud of what they've accomplished, but it seems like they have accomplished great things. Troubling times for Huldra. We have known a relative peace for numerous centuries, dating back to the Great Wars that rocked Firma, but also brought about the Decadal World Council. Difficult decision to close the Westronian borders, and an unprecedented action in recent times, and yet King Anor and I decided that Westonia could not and would not fall as Rockwood did. I see. So they're basically doing it as a measure of protection, based on the kind of unexpected war coming to Rockwood. Think we elves ignore science in favor of magic. Nothing could be further from the truth. Ignorant onlookers are so overwhelmed by the spark of magic that they never look further. I see. Studying diseases that we haven't eradicated. Science can triumph where magic fails. Interesting. That's volume 2. Let's read volume 1 first. It's about Tisaren and the first king, Axiglan. He named a governor. The king continues to name the governor to this day. And so the governor is third in command after the elven king and queen. All right. All right. And goblin sayings. When a warrior is killed in battle, the sacred tree grows thicker with pride. Tree before tribe before self, self before race. Spare the spider to eat the fly, spare the scorpion to eat the spider, spare the viper to eat the scorpion, spare the enemy to kill the viper. The most successful war waged by humankind is the one against hope. If you're unhappy, make friend happy, and you will become happy. Neat. And still nothing in this fireplace either. Really thought I was going to find something in one of these fireplaces. Okay, does this lead upwards to the final chest up here? Yes, it does. Great. And this one is smoking, and this one is not, but I guess that mimics the fireplaces that I saw in the place below. And I think I've explored everything and didn't find any of these so-called tunnels that Snoopy Goblin had mentioned before. And so I wonder what I may have missed. But I think that is one thorough examination of this whole town. There wasn't anything else out here, right? No? Okay. Maybe the tunnels are elsewhere? Yeah, I'm not sure. In any case, I think it's time to go back out to the world map and explore more of the wide world. While I'm here, I do want to get in at least 1 or 2 combats on this continent, just to get a feel for if there are stronger monsters in this area. And so I'm going to wander around until I get into a monster battle and just try to assess how much more difficult or equally easy they are. I do think that monsters in this game that you encounter randomly do scale somewhat relative to the level of your party. So if your party is stronger, you'll encounter stronger monsters. But this seems like a difficult group of monsters right off the bat. And so let me go ahead and who's going to be a bigger threat? I think the Wraith and the Spectre probably will be, and so I'm going to attack a couple of those guys to begin. Let's go ahead and cast... Ooh, actually, with the rights, I can cast Wrath of God and actually hit the undead. So let's actually do that as an offensive spell. And let's try Fire 8 on all these guys. Alright, that guy hit immediately hard. Oh, I got frozen. Okay. So that's a thing that can happen. Fire hurts all of these guys quite badly. And now the Wrath of God isn't going to apply, and in fact it actually healed these guys, so that's unfortunate, but oh well. Let's try to take out... I guess the Berserker has more hit points. And then let's cast... let's try Thunder against these guys as well. And then I forget if I want to unfreeze the thief, I think I could just like cast Remedy on it or something. Alright, but now at this point, I should be able to just finish this guy off with one hit from the monk. Okay, so these monsters, they inflicted a status effect that I don't see very often, which is the frozen status effect. But apart from that, it wasn't too dangerous. But let's see if... Oh! He's no longer frozen. Okay, so frozen apparently is temporary, and it only occurs during battle. And you'll recall that I do have a ring. Oops. If I go down here into my rings, I had a thawing ring, which is a ring that prevents against being frozen, and it was interesting because it has a different look than some of the other rings, and so I wonder if frozen is kind of like a higher level status effect or something. In any case, I took a little bit of damage, so I'm going to heal up briefly, and I'm going to try to get into one more fight, just to see if we see some different monsters out here. And also, since I happen to be looking at the map, buried treasure number 16 is right near where we started, right near the West Orpho stock, and so we should be able to go fetch that buried treasure, and so I might actually do that next, after we get into one more battle here. The buried treasures, I'm mostly doing it just for kind of like the achievement of having accomplished it. Okay, same kind of bad guys, so we'll do the same kind of strategy. We will cast Wrath of God in case my Black Mage gets frozen, and we'll cast Fire 8 in hopes that it gets off quickly. I have been upping the... There we go, Black Mage got frozen. I have been upping the preemptiveness of my Black Mage so that he starts attacking earlier during rounds of battle. And so hopefully he'll be able to get his mass damage spells off earlier, which will make it easier to defeat, you know, big groups of monsters like this. Okay, White Mage was not silenced, and so we do a lot of damage to those bad guys. And now I think even if I'm silenced, I can do Dancing Daggers because it's a skill. And it looks like this Ice Gremlin has the most hit points. And at this point... I think let's go ahead and try casting Remedy on the Black Mage, just because I want to see if Remedy will get rid of Frozen during battle, because I imagine it would, but I don't actually know. Alright, Dancing Daggers was terrific. Good job, Thief. We're also stealing some new things. And now let's see what happens when the White Mage casts Remedy. It does not get rid of Frozen. Okay, this is important information. Great. We can just attack this Ice Goblin. The other Ice Goblin is confused, so I can just sit back and relax. Alright, he attacks him, I attack him, and while that guy is confused, and you recall that I think it was just the previous episode where I basically upgraded the Thief's weapon, and it was a weapon that could inflict confusion. Neat, and I just did it again right before he died. I don't remember what the name of the weapon is right now that the Thief is using that does that, though. It's the Mercenary's Dagger, right, which we got as a reward. Okay, and so basically on this continent, the main threat is that we now have enemies who are going to freeze us, and it seems like the Thawing Ring is perhaps the only thing that could protect me against that right now. But yeah, we've learned a little bit about that. That was an easy city to go and visit. I am next going to head back to where we can go get the treasure from the treasure map. I'm quite familiar with this path because when I did some fishing off camera, it was at the West Orpho stock that's right up here. Macro 2 should work pretty well with this because fire works well against these guys. And so I feel like I know my way around here pretty well already. And it looks like it was just kind of a bit to the north past the dock. My Thief and my Black Mage just leveled up on the trip back, and my Monk and my White Mage are about to level up. And I think I might actually show their level ups where I assign their action points, activity points. What are APs? Ability points? Ability points. But somewhere right around here is where the map is pointing to, the treasure map. Let's go ahead and zoom all the way back in. It looks like it's just up in this corner right here. Oops. Got in another battle. Alright, won that battle and got a couple of level ups. But let's see, I think right here, or here, Or here. There we go. Dug and found. 5 rejuvenating elixirs. Okay, so maybe the treasures are going to get better as the treasure map numbers go up. But in any case, that's treasure map 16 accounted for, and I believe it no longer appears in my inventory. Yeah, so now there's just number 11 and number 12. So that's great. Let me go through my level ups just to talk about how I'm thinking about each character at this stage in the progression. My thief has been doing well. The main problems he has is occasionally he misses when he attacks, and so I've been putting a few points into accuracy. And apart from that, he's in good shape, and so I tend to give him a little bit more magic defense, a little bit more regular defense, a little bit more hit points, and occasionally also a little bit more magic points or attack. But I just spent all of my ability points right there on the thief. As for the monk, as you increase his accuracy, and I recently increased it to 300, he gets more and more hits on enemies, and so I think he started out hitting enemies like 6 times, and then went up to 7 times, and now hits enemies like 8 times sometimes. It's still the case that he's been taking a lot of damage, so I tend to give him both more magic defense, as well as more regular defense. Hit points are always good, and attack is always good. He doesn't need much magic points right now. He occasionally will use them, but he uses them less frequently than any of my other characters, so I'm not worrying about updating those. And so long as his preemptiveness is high enough that he stays as typically the first person who hits in my party, then I'm pretty happy. I like having the monk go first because he deals a lot of damage to one enemy, and so when I'm just trying to grind and clean up, like the last enemy on the screen, I can just attack and be sure that he's going to hit first and just like finish off the last guy. For my white mage, intelligence can make her spells more powerful, so it's good to give her a little bit of that. Apart from that, I'm not interested in preemption. She does have spells like Fast Heal and Fast Life, which can be... You spend extra magic points to make sure that they go first in the battle, and so I don't mind if she goes last most of the time, since she has the ability to go first with those other spells. And so apart from that, adding a little bit of extra defense is good. Adding hit points is very good. Hit points are especially important because it might be the case that she needs to take off the ring that gives her hit points in order to have protection against other attacks. And more magic points is also good, just to make sure that she has plenty of healing store for the entire party. And finally, for the black mage, I've been increasing his preemption almost entirely. Is there anything else that he really needs right now? Hit points are still a little bit low, but they're doing okay. Let me add a few bits of hit points. Magic points have been high enough that he's been surviving, and now that I realize that I should be using Osmosis occasionally in order to kind of suck magic points out of the enemy, I'm less concerned about magic points going up. And honestly, his defenses, standing in the back row, he's not taking too much damage typically, and so I think I'm going to pour all the rest of it into preemption, with the idea that whenever I want to grind, I want him to get, like his Fire 8 spell out as fast as possible to reduce the battlefield from 7 enemies I'm fighting down to 2 very quickly at the very beginning of battle. So that's kind of like just a window into how I've been doing level ups on my characters. And I think that might be a good place to go ahead and finish things up for today. Next time I might do a little bit more world exploration, just to go to a couple of other ports that we can go ahead and reach now, just to see what's there. But then in the future, we'll probably try to progress the main story, which will involve going to Estonia to try to bring news of what we know about what happened in Rockwood, but we'll have to travel through some mountain passages in order to get past the kind of border blockade in Westonia. So those are things to look forward to. I hope, as always, that you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you again soon with more Last Dream World Unknown. Bye-bye.